Optimus Prime's gonna kick your ass!
I'm going to beat the shit out of Optimus Prime, and then I'll do the same to you, Bumblebee!
Bumblebee? I'm not Bumblebee. You're not gonna beat the shit out of anyone today.
Oh yeah?
You're yesterday's model, Megatron, ready for the scrapping.
Oh, I've never heard that one before, Prime. Got any new material?
Junk! That's what you are. Junk!
Still doing the same set, I see.
Optimus Prime!
Well, Prime, that's big talk from a robot that can't even fly.
Oh, yeah?
Do you need to borrow a rocket pack? Thundercracker, pull a rocket pack out of your ass and give it to Optimus Prime.
Fuck you.
You were good, Prime, but Megatron is better.
Oh, shit.
Well done, Megatron!
Remember this, Prime. Don't fuck with the Decepticons.
All right, welcome back to another not Sunday stream, but a Monday stream because I had to take it last night, yesterday off because of stuff. But yeah, today we're continuing the Batman month, the Batman villains. So obviously last week we did Man Bat, and so this week today we are doing Bane, and then later on in the week, I think on the 17th is when we'll be doing Poison Ivy because. If you haven't been following the channel if you haven't been following my channel, and if you haven't seen the stream last week's stream, I kind of mentioned what I'm going to be doing for the schedule because I'm going to be doing a lot of draw streams. I have starting from now, we have 8 streams planned with different Batman villains for throughout the course of the next couple of weeks. So. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're starting off with Bane, and then on the 17th we'll be doing Poison Ivy, and then on the Sunday we'll be doing Talia. So yeah, and if you I think if you go on my channel, you should be able to find the schedule links for if you want to know which ones are going to be next. So yeah, this one's a pretty interesting piece. It's kind of based off of the Nightfall comic. Version of Bane, because that's my preferred version of the character in the pre-52 timeline. I never really liked the way they handled him in more recent years. So, because I think he's a lot more interesting character back in those days. So, and obviously you can tell it has the sort of the Nightfall logo as the bat signal in the sky. So it's gonna be. Just kind of I just like having little nods like that, and he's on top of Arkham Asylum, because that was a very big part of the first book, and at least the first volume of the Nightfall storyline. So just coming in with E000. I kind of reorganized my markers setup, but I got a new rack coming in, which I just ordered the other day. So. And it should be a lot more efficient than what I'm using right now. It kind of looks like one of those the racks you would see at a Michael's or at a typical art store. So that's gonna be really cool. So right now I'm just using the lighter shade E to kind of map out where I want the colors to go. You kind of want to do this when you're first starting out because you kind of want to figure out the light source, figure out how much and where. And what areas will cast a shadow, so and whatnot. This area right here would be casting a shadow against there'd be a shadow casting against the torso and whatnot. So just very important things to take note of when you're coloring. And I see that Ra's al Ghul is clapping all the other villains in my poll. And Yeah, so it's either I put up Bane or not Bane. I put Rachel Ghoul versus Penguin, Ivy, and what was the other one? Croc. Yeah. So yeah. All right, let's pull out Darker Shade, which will be E00. I'll try to make note of all the pens I'm using in case anyone's interested. So. All right. Another thing you want to keep, another tip I'd kind of recommend is kind of drawing like along like sort of the muscle lines or a color along the lines. It's a really useful trick to learn when you're just like starting out with coloring and whatnot. It kind of applies to most like markers, I think. Although I mostly just use Copics. I've used the Artist Loft and I've used Tombos, the water-based ones. So, and it usually works out. And they're usually kind of the same idea. Which, hold on, I forgot the little area. I forgot his little fingers are popping out. So, just gotta make sure I get that. All right. All right. I think we'll pull out a darker shade. That's an easy fix. All right. So yeah, I couldn't really stream last night or not last night, yesterday morning, just because I was really tired from Saturday. I was working really had a really long day at work, so I needed to rest, need to relax for a bit. So, but I'm all good now. Okay. Oh, Rachel Ghoul is having some competition now. Ivy's getting getting into the ring here. All right, we're just gonna blend the EO2 with the E00. So just to create a nice smooth sort of look. Probably gonna go back in with some gray tones and stuff. So most likely gonna use warm grays though. And I'll make it a little bit darker. Oh, and that needs to be touched up later. Okay, I think I'm going to take a break from the skin tones and I'll move on to the bodysuit. I'm going to add a very light, I'm going to add like a blue sort of highlights to it. Kind of like in the old comic, the original comic. That's kind of what I'm trying to go for here. And then we'll go ahead and add the green and the red. So. And the silver and stuff. So. gonna give Batman's cowl the same blue treatment. Okay. What was that? B24. I'll try B28 on top of that. So yeah, it looks better. This blue looks better. Yeah, that looks much better. All right. Okay. That should do it for the blue highlights now. Sorry. Just give it a nice sort of transitional look to it. To the outlines. There. Okay. Move on to the chrome elements. Or you. And we'll use some cool grays. So we'll start with a BG 000, which is kind of like a bluish green. Kind of helps create that chrome sort of look. And it works really well with like the cool grays. So we just need it for the belt, and we'll need it for the thing on his wrist. So I'm just gonna put little hints of it. On there. Then we'll use C1. Now let's do the little knuckles. Then we'll use a little bit on the mask here. Okay, this should do it for now. Obviously, I have to go back in with the uniball pen to fix up that little mistake I made earlier. And I'll grab a 3 and a 4. Just add a darker shadow to the belt here. And the wrist thing here. All right. Let's throw some green and some red on. Start with the Venom. I think we'll start with YG11. Let's see. Let me just retweet the stream out real quick, just so that I can hopefully get more viewers. See if anyone else is here. Just retweet. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna add a light sort of yellow to it, I think. There we go. All right, let's move on to the eyes. This is why I'm really looking forward to the new setup. It'll make this part a lot easier. That part, at least. So I need some reds. We gotta use some crimson, dark red, and yeah. Actually, no, we go for orange. Actually, I'll get an orangey red. Actually, this is I'll have a red. I'm trying to look at the. Hold on. Nope, it's all silver. Gotcha. Just making sure. Okay. It's going to need some touching up. Probably should have used Tombos for this part, but it's all good. All right. All right, we got kind of the main figure sort of squared off right now. So I think we'll start moving on to the rooftop, and then we'll work on the background. So I probably will need you guys. Get all back. Oh my gosh. All right, fuck you. I want to go. So I'm going to start with my warm grays, and then I'll throw some browns onto it afterwards. That's what we'll do here. So I'm using a warm gray 7 at the moment for those who are interested. That should all be in shadow. So there's a lot of hype around the new Spider-Man movie. It's been coming out. Not really looking forward to it. So there's a lot of hype behind it, but there's a lot of, I guess there's kind of like a mixed sort of vibe going on with that movie. But I'm in the camp of not going to be seeing it because I do not like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I mean, not Tom Holland himself. He's a fine actor. I think he could do a good job as Spider-Man, but it's more the writing I have a problem with of his character. It really didn't get his character right in the MCU. You know, it just made him way too dependent on Iron Man. You know, he's not really his own man. You know, the relationship he has with the villains and with like his supporting cast is just not all that great, you know, and which is a very important aspect of the character, I feel like. So, and they kind of got that wrong about him. So, not really keen on the new movie coming out, and it really just feels like the big ass nostalgia bait, you know, going on. It's not really, and there's no real good like story reason for him meeting all these. I don't know, this seems it's very much going to be a nostalgia bait movie. Yeah. And it is really, to me, like one of the main problems I have is that this is the first time. Like I kind of mentioned this earlier. I kind of super chatted Steph on her channel the other day. I kind of made this point of how it's kind of a insult to the character and to the character's history to have it so that he meets like characters like the Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus and stuff from an alternate universe. Like it's not his own, like he doesn't meet his own like Norman Osborn on his own. He has to, you know, he's meeting, like the first time he's interacting with him is from a different universe. It's just like, what? It's like, like that'd be like if Batman, like in the next Batman movie, like he goes into a multiverse story, and that's the first time he meets the Joker. It's just like, it's stupid. It's like, stop it. It's not. It's like, these are like, the relationship between the villain and the hero is very important, and so when you take that away, and the way you do, and if you do that in with the way they're going to be doing it in this film, it's kind of seems very cheap to me. The Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus are very important villains to Peter Parker, So, and so he doesn't even have his own villains at the time in these movies. He's just, Mysterio wasn't really Spider-Man's villain because he kind of was a offshoot, like Iron Man villain who was kind of like an employee or whatever for him. And he's like, and it was kind of the same thing with Vulture. Vulture was a little bit better because he had a bit more of a connection with Peter, but yeah, but it's like, yeah, he's not even having his own. He doesn't have his own Doc Ock. He doesn't have his own Green Goblin. It's just stupid. It's like it'd be fine if like he already met all these villains and then they did the multiverse story, but it's just like. To me, honestly, I'm not really crazy about multiverse stories anyways. It's not really my thing. Like, I just really like enjoying a singular timeline version of a character rather than going to multiple timelines with the same characters. Like the idea of seeing like multiple Spider-Mans and multiple like Batmans or something like that on screen just doesn't really appeal to me all that much. And there's some instances where it's kind of okay, but just like where it's kind of passable to me. But generally speaking, I just prefer the main universe storyline. I don't really care about the multiverse stuff. Never been a multiverse guy or a fan of it. Like Elseworld, I think there's kind of a difference between Elseworlds and like, using having like the main storyline, connect to the multiverse. I don't know. Not my cup of tea. All right. Let's throw in a different shade. Let's throw a 3 on. I just got some new cups in the other day, so I'm gonna test them out today. All right. think we're ready for some browns. First time I had a little light sort of yellow sort of rim to the windows here. Can you not? Thank you. Okay, and we'll throw this guy. Okay, we'll throw some browns on now. We'll start with a light brown. I think we'll add a little bit of some copper, some sort of like a light reddish sort of look to it as well. Trying to show a little bit of age, you know, because I feel like it's appropriate for Arkham Asylum. You know. Here. There's another pen that needs to get some replace from some refills. All right. Okay. All right. Let's throw different shade. I think this will be the last shade we throw on. I think it's looking really good. Trying to go for something like similar to like the Arkham games, sort of the sort of worn out, sort of brownish roof look to it, I guess. Then we'll use a darker shade for the top here. I think that will look nice. shade of brown to the stuff here. Just to darken it over here just a little bit. Should be a. All right, I think we're ready to move on to the background. So I kind of contemplated this a little bit the other day. It's kind of a mental crisis of what to do with the bat signal. So, Jesus. So we're gonna start with because it's kind of in the comic the logo has like kind of like a red, like the symbol is red on this side, and then there's a blue on this side, and it's yellow on this side. That's kind of and that's kind of like thinking about, well, how will I do the glow effect of that? So, but I kind of thought about a better solution. I'm going to keep the color here solid, or at least as solid, a little bit, not 100% solid, but I'm going to have it just a light sort of glow coming off of this, and I'll just go with that. So we're just going to start with a very light yellow around the yellow parts. So I think we'll start with a light red and a light blue now. All right. Okay. And we'll grab just a light blue, I think. I think O2 would be better. Or no. Use this guy. Yeah, I'll do a darker blue and darker red, actually. I think that'll look better. think I'll just use the light blue for like the edges. Here. There we go. Yeah, I think it works. Probably get rid of this line with some white out. All right, so now I kind of need to do the sky. I'm not too sure what color. I kind of want to go for like a blue, maybe a red, like the animated series, but I kind of want like the purple. I'll go for like a purplish blue. I think that'll work really well here. Yeah, we want that. So. And we'll start light, work our way to dark. So. Actually, where's my lavender purple? Or lavender gray? Nope. I think that'll work really well. Yeah. Use my violet / grayish colors for this. Oh, it looks like Rachel Ghoul's back in the lead. Hey Jacob, how you doing, man? My favorite version of Bane, in comic books or in like the movies and comics and stuff, cartoons and stuff. Because if we're talking comics, I am definitely a Chuck Dixon pre New 52 Bane fan. But in terms of movies, none. I don't think they've ever gotten the character right. Yeah. They got some things right in the Nolan movie, but it still wasn't Bane. It was more, he felt more like Ubu from, if you know who Ubu is, he kind of like Ra's al Ghul's like servant. That's what he really felt like to me. And we don't even need to speak about Batman and Robin, that version of Bane, but yeah, it's definitely Chuck Dixon in terms of comics. Video games, I didn't really like him in the first two Arkham games, but in Arkham Origins, I thought it was a little bit better. But I kind of felt like it was kind of the wrong time period for Bane to show up. I just felt like it was a little bit too early on in Bruce's career as Batman in that game. For him to meet like characters like Ra's al Ghul or characters like Deathstroke, Sheba, and Bane. I see them as more of like year 5, year 6 villains for him. But all right. What about Bane in the animated series? Yeah, he was okay in the animated series. They didn't really do a whole lot with him in the animated series though, but I just felt like he had in the comics, he had a bit more of an interesting role and more interesting arc going on. He was pretty good in the Justice League Doom movie. I thought he had a really cool way of thinking about Batman. I thought it was a really cool scene there. But I haven't really been keeping up too much with the recent stories, so I don't really know how. I heard he killed Alfred off, but that's all I really know. But I don't really care what Tom King fucking Batman did. It's fucking awful. All right. So right now I'm kind of creating this like nice little kind of this purplish bluish background. So I'm starting off with a light sort of lavender color, and then I'm kind of gradually building into a darker blue. So, bluish purple. So let's see. Yeah, it should be fine. This pen's dying on me. Really need to get some more refills soon. I heard Bane was very generic in the New 52, which I didn't really follow a lot of. I just did not like anything New 52, so. But I heard he was a very generic villain in that. Well, he had a really interesting arc in the 352 timeline. I talked a little bit about it last week, but like he kind of had a after he did the Nightfall stuff. There's an arc where he was involved a little bit in No Man's Land, but it was in Legacy. I can't remember. It was Legacy before No Man's Land. I can't remember. Who's that? Okay. Boy, FYI. What was it like in the comments? I didn't know. Oh, okay. So in the comics, he's a very intelligent villain. He was kind of in the comics, so his origin was basically he was put in prison with his mother in, I think, Pandora, somewhere in South America, and by his father, who was a criminal warlord or whatever. And so he was basically put into prison for a crime that his father committed. And eventually his mother was killed in the prison, and so he's kind of alone, and eventually he became stronger. He started to, because he had to learn to fend for himself and whatnot, and so he eventually became the king of the prison. Essentially, he became this very strong influence in the prison. Because he was a very is one of those prisons, but. And eventually he was experimented on by some scientists, and that's how we got the venom serum put into him, and then that makes him a lot more stronger and stuff. So, and in doing so, he was able to break free and escape with a couple of his, because he made a couple of friends in the prison, and so they became sort of his comrades when he went to Gotham eventually, because he's kind of like this. He's and he actually is a lot more and he learned a lot of things in prison as well. Like he would always he always get like books and stuff like that. He was always reading, always learning about the world. And when he got out of prison, he learned about the stories of Batman, and as a child, he was always like frightened by bats. Like he always had like a fear of bats and stuff like that. And so he kind of. And he saw Batman as sort of a physical manifestation of his nightmares and stuff. So he felt like he had to take him down and prove that he was the king of Gotham. When because that was this whole thing in the prison, is he became the king of the prison. So he felt like he needed to become the king of the city that his nightmares are sort of manifested in the form of Batman, or something similar along those lines. And so. And so in Nightfall, he arranges for the escape of all the Arkham inmates in Arkham Asylum, and so Batman spends about a month going around the city, tracking them down, and bringing them back to Arkham Asylum, and he's basically doing this to kind of wear down Batman. He's kind of trying to test him a bit. But on the night he is finally, Batman is finally defeated all the villains and put him back to Arkham Asylum, that's when Bane confronts him in his home, because he kind of figured out that Bruce Wayne was Batman, while he was studying him. And he went to his home, and that's where he broke the bat. He broke his back because Batman was just in no situation to fight, because he was just so exhausted and so beat, and from all the month, from all the work he put into the month to round up all those villains and stuff like that. And so, but eventually, so Bane, after that, Bane kind of became like the king of Gotham at that point. He was kind of running the criminal organizations and whatnot. Up until Jean Paul Valley, Azrael took up the mantle of Batman for a while, and he went and took Bane down in a very brutal manner. So, although he almost died. He lost the first fight, but then he came back in this very like Azrael, like the sort of this gold and black sort of armor that he wore, and he was able to beat Bane and stuff. So. And then I think after that, I can't remember if this is before No Man's Land, but in Legacy, Bane comes back and him and Batman have and he's basically working with Ra's al Ghul for a time because he's searching for answers about the identity of his father, and he's trying to learn, and he thinks that Ra's al Ghul might have the answers to that. Or I think Ra's al Ghul, I can't remember. I think Ra's al Ghul might have said that he has the answers, just that hasn't really said anything about that, or it's been a while. Yeah, it's a very interesting character, a lot of depth, and he went from, and so in that storyline, he kind of has a rematch with Batman, and Batman kind of wipes the floor with him because this time Batman's not on, because Batman kind of is not on, they're not on equal, like they're on equal footing now because Batman was exhausted the first time they met, and so, but now the tables are kind of turned, and Batman was able to whoop his ass and stuff. So, and I think I think that was, I think Legacy was before No Man's Land, which is where this big earthquake comes to Gotham, and the city. It's kind of like Arkham, like. So he's not more than just, he's more than a roided up rage monster. He has a lot of, very intelligent. He's very calculating. He's, because his whole plan to take down Batman wasn't just to go straight up into a fight, because he knew that, because he kind of knew that he wouldn't be able to beat Batman in a full on fight because of his history and whatnot. And so he decided to wear him down, play upon his human weakness of just being too exhausted to fight on. So. And so, and he kind of saw defeating Batman as kind of him in a metaphorical way, defeating his own inner demons that were haunting him as a child in the prison and stuff. And so No Man's Land, I can't remember what he was doing in No Man's Land, but there came a point where he actually started to become a little bit normal. Like it's kind of, he started to become a bit more of a noble, had more noble intentions as he sort of progressed as a character, because he was kind of, because he grew up in a very hostile environment, so he was kind of getting used, so he wasn't really used to the regular world. He's kind of, or to the rules of the outside world and stuff like that. So. And so he eventually started to become a bit more noble, and he was going, and because Ra's al Ghul kind of left him to die in Legacy, he's basically been going around destroying Ra's al Ghul's Lazarus pits and stuff like that, and he ends up working with Batman a lot, and he's always like looking for the answers to his father's identity, and there actually came a point where I kind of mentioned this the last stream, but there was a part where Bane actually thought that, like, there was a possibility in his mind that him and Bruce Wayne were actually related in a sense, because there was I can't remember the exact storyline, but it kind of was explained that there's a chance of there's three candidates that were kind of thought of to be his biological father. And one of them was an American doctor, and which would have been Thomas Wayne, because Thomas Wayne, I think they explained that Thomas Wayne might have known his mother or had some sort of relationship with that, or King Snake, the criminal warlord or criminal gangster or whatever, and I can't remember. I think it was I think like a priest or something like that. And so Bane is kind of looking for answers, and now in the storyline, it's kind of revealed that his biological father isn't Thomas Wayne. It's actually King Snake. So, and throughout the storyline, Bane and Batman actually start to become friends. They actually start to fight alongside each other, stuff like that. So, and there's even a point where Bane almost died, and Batman actually used the Lazarus pit to revive him and stuff like that. So yeah, he had a really interesting arc in the pre-52 timeline, which was kind of so you can kind of see why I'm not really interested in the newer Banes, because it's like, he's a great villain. He's a great villain, but there's also a lot more depth to him as a character as well. We kind of saw a little bit of that in the Arkham City game, because there was a side mission in that game where you got to work with Bane to destroy all the Titan canisters around the city. But eventually, at the end of the game, he kind of betrays you, and Batman kind of outsmarts him in the end of that. So, yeah, I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit. Ooh. Just add a little bit of a cool gray to the lightning strike here. And we'll just like that. So yeah, Bane's a really interesting character, a really interesting villain. They just haven't really done a whole lot with him. Yeah, I'll use this. See, 154. I'm gonna go for a long time now, since no one else is streaming at the moment. At least I don't think so, because I don't like to overlap in other people's streams. I like to, because there's some streams I just want to watch and stuff like that. So, but since it's on a Monday, there's not a whole lot of people streaming today. So, although I'm probably gonna change up the time. The start times for the streams probably gonna start a little bit later, like probably on like 5 p.m. my time, or not 5, like 2 or 3, something like that. I hate it when they have well-established villain character who really, that was like horrible in Batman and Robin, and then I mean they got a little bit of his backstory right in the Nolan film, but then they got his motivations wrong, And then they kind of made him play second fiddle to Talia al Ghul in that story by the end of the film. So, and it's really not something that Bane would necessarily do. I don't really see Bane being someone who would hold a city hostage, because he has more of a personal vendetta with Batman. That was kind of the whole thing with that. It wasn't really after like the people of Gotham or anything like that. Like he was more interested in like controlling the crime. Once he got took down Batman, he was more interested in controlling the crime in Gotham and whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of become sort of the norm nowadays, to kind of like take really good characters and like kind of break them down and deconstruct them and make them lesser than what they are. Yeah, the animated series got the origin right. They just, I don't know, they didn't really do a whole lot with his character in the animated series, though. Which is kind of like a bummer to me, because I think they could have done a really good job. Like, I think that it'd be really cool if they actually did a Nightfall type of storyline in that series, but I think we got a bot. Hey, awesome one. How you doing, man? Santa Bane. Well, he's not Santa right now, but I think this one's a bot as well. Wow, with 2 people. This is nuts. Hell yeah. Hold on. Yeah, play this clip.
Despite your treachery, I've allowed you to carry on this long because I took a certain delight in following your string of failures. But you finally become tiresome, predictable. You've hit rock bottom.
I finally get to use that clip. Because I used that clip. I was planning to use that clip for like the bots and the trolls. So I finally get to use that one. That was a pretty cool scene in the Transformers Prime cartoon. Lots of them on almost every stream I visit. Yeah, that's my first one though. I think so. That's kind of cool. I guess. I feel like one of the big guys now. All right. All right. I think this guy. Yeah. Not really. I think I'll use it blue. That's a little too dark. This might work. I think I've added a nice like red tint to it afterwards. Or I don't know. Maybe I'll keep the blue and purple going. I think that works really well. I'm kind of inspired by a little bit. I'm thinking about, or in my mind at least. I don't really have the comic on me, but I have a older comic book of Bane. Like it's kind of like a really nice shot of him on top of like rooftop. It's kind of where the kind of idea, I guess, came for this one. But it was from like one of the older. I think it was in the Gotham Knights series. It was like it was the arc where Bane and Batman go to one of the Lazarus pits and fights King Snake and whatnot. Really cool stuff back then. Did a lot of really cool things with Bane in those comics. I kind of like that. I'm gonna pull out the lighter shades. Parody. Yeah. Yeah, it really just seems like what they're doing now is like they're kind of just making a parody of these characters now. It doesn't really feel like the real deal anymore. A lot of things that are happening with a lot of these characters. Well, a lot of what Hollywood's been doing lately is kind of just like, yeah, they just like shit on the original because they think it's stupid or whatever, or because they get like some sort of jollies out of pissing off the fans. So. But I also heard that Bane was in the Gotham show, but I have not been following that show since season 1. I just couldn't get into it. Just felt like they were kind of introducing villains and characters that shouldn't be introduced at this point. Like they're just like way too early on. I feel like a lot of these characters. I mean, some are okay, but a lot of them seem like way older than they should be as well. Like Riddler and Two-Face should be a little bit younger. Like these are characters like should be like Bruce's age. like some like I mean, Penguin I can kind of see being a little bit older than Batman, and maybe Scarecrow as well. But like a lot of these villains shouldn't be like years older than Batman, And a lot of these characters are very influenced by Batman in certain circumstances. Like they have a very big connection with their origins due to their influence or interaction with Batman. Sometimes a lot of these villains, and it's just way too early on for that. I think a much more interesting story that they could have done with the Gotham show was actually it would have been to actually show instead of taking place during Batman's like younger years as a child. I would have preferred if they actually went with a storyline where they actually explored his training overseas, like story, like where he's going around to different places of the world to train and whatnot, and see all the different things he learned in order to become the Batman and stuff. I think that would have told a much more interesting story. Because like Batman didn't just learn how to fight, and there's a lot more things that he learned. He learned how to become a master of escape. He learned, writing. He learned, acting and stuff like that, so he could go undercover in certain circumstances, which you see a lot of. There's a lot of things that he learned that were more than just fighting. He learned medicine. He learned, detective skills and stuff like that. And literally anything Batman could think of that could be useful in his war on crime, he learned it. And and the skills eventually do pay off in a lot of storylines. Which is one of the things I didn't like about the Batman versus the Batfleck, Batman versus Superman version, where he doesn't have it, whereas like he's using a voice sympathize, like a voice changer in order for his voice, and I just thought that was kind of cheap because in the animated series and a lot of things he actually is able to, I like the idea of him actually naturally being able to change his voice. In order to mask, the Bruce Wayne and Batman personas. Like we saw that a lot. We saw that in the animated series a lot, where Kevin Conroy came up with the idea that, what if I gave him a different type of voice for when he's a Bruce Wayne and Batman, and that was a really interesting idea for the character. And it makes more sense because it's like, he wouldn't, because he would have learned that. He would have learned something like that overseas when he was training and stuff. So to me, when he's relying all 100% on technology, it kind of cheapens it a little bit. I like that he has the cowl. Yeah, that was like one of his things in the comics. Is actually he kept the cowl as like a trophy for himself when he beat Batman in that. So yeah, I think it's a really cool image here. Yeah, they did that a little bit where they showed it in the Zatanna episode where you saw him training with Zatanna's father and learning to become a master of escape. I thought it was really interesting. And I think there's one episode where he's on the phone with one guy as Bruce Wayne in his Bruce Wayne voice, but then he changes voices when he changes the call and he's calling Commissioner Gordon or something like that. I thought it was really funny and really cool scene. And this needs to be a little bit thinner. So we'll push that up. Hold on. Give me a ruler. Should be. That should be fine. But yeah, so that would be like a really interesting story if they did that, and if they did that for the Gotham show instead. Feel like it could have been kind of like the way they did Arrow, where you'd have where in Arrow you had the island storyline that was going on kind of in the past, and then you had the what was going on in the city at the time, and so I felt like they could have done something there, where it's like so like, but for like Gotham, you'd have like the series, because I do like the idea of a crime show, like a police GCPD show with Gordon in it. I just feel like he shouldn't have been fighting or going up against like villains. A lot of the Batman Rogues Gallery at that early of a stage, And I think I need to let's do that. There we go. Then I think that they would just like switch to like what Batman was doing overseas, like training and whatnot. I think that'd be a more interesting story for the show. Maybe this guy. Nope. And then Christian Bale had a pretty rough voice after he played. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that he has to go like Chris Nolan, where he sounds like he has throat cancer, but but having but like with the way Kevin Conroy did was really, really smart. Where he had a very, upbeat sort of Bruce Wayne voice. He had a more upbeat sort of personality as Bruce Wayne, but then he had a bit more serious, more lower, more gravelly voice as Batman. I always thought that was really cool about his portrayal of Batman. Okay, where's my? The Green Arrow series is pretty good to a point. I would have liked it better if they continued to focus on the character of Green Arrow. Yeah. One of the things I didn't like about the Arrow show is that they kept bringing like Batman villains, like Ra's al Ghul. They brought in Deadshot. Like, I mean, some villains I can kind of tolerate being Arrow villain, but like characters like Ra's al Ghul should be reserved for like Batman. Same thing with like Talia. I think they had like Clock King at one point. They had. I mean, Deadshot works because he's an assassin, so I imagine he'd be going after him. But Deathstroke, Deathstroke's he's always been more of a Teen Titans Batman or Batman Nightwing villain. So, but I mean, he's fought like multiple people. He's fought the Justice League multiple times. I'm not really too familiar with his history with Green Arrow in the comics, but he's primarily been a Teen Titans villain. So. But I mean, the guy who played him did a really good job in the show, though. I like that portrayal of him. I think they had like Prometheus. They did Prometheus, which was a villain who was kind of like the opposite of Batman in a way. Like he had a very different lifestyle. Like he had a very different like backstory, but it's very similar and like kind of like a mirror of his backstory a little bit. But he had a very different costume. Like he had a very similar costume to Batman, but it's kind of like a very like tech based suit that was like kind of alien or like had like an alien origin to it. But I think they did Anarchy. Did they do Anarchy in the show? I can't remember if they did Anarchy or not. I might be thinking of something else. I feel like Anarchy might have been in it, but I might be misremembering. And I think Harley Quinn might have gotten a cameo in the when they did the Suicide Squad at one point in the CW, but yeah, I liked Arrow though. It was a pretty good show up until like season 3, where they kind of messed with a lot of the characters and made them not as interesting. And they did a lot of stupid shit with like Felicity, like when they pushed that shipping bullshit, you know. And that's an instance where it's like where shipping just ruins the show, where it's just like, where they kind of force a romance through Blossom and stuff like that. And it's just like, and not just that, like Oliver Queen should be with Black Canary. It's like, fuck Felicity. Like Oliver is supposed to be with Dinah. That's how it's supposed to be. Just like how Clark is supposed to be with Lois. Just like how Peter Parker is supposed to be with Mary Jane. It's like, no, Green Arrow is supposed to be with Black Canary. That's how it's supposed to be. So now I'm just kind of like creating like a nice little edge, kind of edging out the stuff here with a BG 000. Just to kind of tidy it up just a little bit. Just to sort of blend the sky or the cloudy background with the lightning strike here. Okay, I think that's gonna. We're pretty much getting close to being done. Let me just check something real quick. I'll just let that load. Just want to see what's up. All right, it's taking forever. Yeah, we'll get some darker grays going now. No, he's standing like it was kind of well, kind of. It's kind of like in the supposed to be kind of in the distance type of thing. He's supposed to be on top of Arkham Asylum right here. It's kind of like what I'm going for here, because Arkham Asylum was played a big role in the Nightfall comics, so I kind of wanted to have that. But yeah, he's like it's supposed to be. It's kind of like because the symbol is actually supposed to be kind of a nod to the comic book because the comic book had the kind of like this half crescent sort of a symbol going on, kind of like a half yellow, half red and blue type of thing. So that's why it's looking a little bit differently than that. Although I kind of contemplated the idea of actually having it like cracked, like the bat symbol was kind of cracked, like as if he like broke like the symbol or the bat signal or whatever. I thought that would have been a really cool idea, but I kind of was already it was a little too late for me to change that. But maybe we can do a second piece. How was that? Maybe we'll do a second variant or something like that one day. I need gray again. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of it being like a cracked symbol as well, because it would kind of be a metaphoric to what he just did to Batman, you know. Next time. It's a little off, feels like, so I'll just thicken this area up just a little bit. All right, I think I'll add a lighter blue to it, and I think that'll be the last sort of color we add into it. Or a darker shade of blue, rather. It's B23. So. Reviews. Let's go. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, I've been doing the same thing. I drew for Mara and I drew for Steph, and I drew for Lethal, but his gift is still in customs. I actually drew them all live, aside from the Mara Jade one I did for Mara. But I drew Steph, the Ninja Turtles. If you follow her channel, she kind of like posted on Twitter of all the turtles that I drew for her. I drew the Well, you'll find them on my channel, but I've been drawing the Robins and the Turtles fighting each other lately. And I made them all as a gift for her because I felt like it. So actually, I have a video clip. I think I showed it last week, right? I think you were here for last week, so I think you might have seen that clip. But we'll play it again at the end because I love that clip. You know, because that's really the reason why I loved him. Is just making people happy. You know, if you focus on making people happy, you'll find that it's a lot more rewarding than just, just trying to make yourself happy, make others obviously make sure you're happy as well, but it's also a good thing to try and be good to others and stuff like that, finding joy in helping others or doing something nice for someone else. But yeah, that's what I love. And then for Mara, I drew her the Man Bat I colored last week, and I gave her the Dinobot I did, the Beast Wars Dinobot, and then I drew for her Mara Jade, so from Star Wars. And they are all on their way to her place right now, so hopefully Santa gets to her in time, because I think the tracking said it was going to be for. Says going to be arriving on Christmas Eve, so hopefully it works out. But for Lethal, I drew him Beast Wars Megatron, and now it was originally supposed to be given to him as a gift, a birthday gift in October, but it's been stuck in customs for like a month, about 2 months now. I don't know what's going on at the. What's going on over there, but I think there's like a big delay happening in Vancouver. That's kind of why there's not really I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. All I know is that the power, it's no longer in my hands, so can't really do much about it. I think I said it was gonna be there in a couple months, so Lethal hopefully will get a Christmas / birthday present. But I'm also doing something for Lorena Creole, and yeah. Anyways, oh, nice. Yeah, I actually drew a picture of my niece actually when she was around the time she was born, or my first niece. I have 2 nieces now, and when she was born, I actually drew her as Green Lantern. I drew a little Green Lantern of her when she's as a baby or something like that. That was kind of funny. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be giving them gifts and drawings and stuff like that. Also drew for my baby cousin that was born around the same time as my first niece. So. Yeah, overseas orders get delayed a lot. It's really, I don't know, and obviously because it's Christmas season, so I mean that's probably why it's being slow. So hopefully things pick up. All right, I think we're ready to pull out the Uniball. Add some lightning. Actually, I'm going to touch up the symbol a little bit just to make this a little bit darker here. And then and maybe touch up the red. Yeah, it's much better. And then we'll add the lightning and the highlights and whatnot. Sweet. I think I'll use this to kind of. Bad idea. Thought about using a template around this, but I don't think that would work very well. So I have a bunch of like circle templates, a bunch of different templates for like different shapes and stuff. They're very useful for various circumstances when you're drawing. See ya, Jacob. I hope you have a good day, man. Nice chatting with you. Let's see. Hold on. All right. Just checking to see. Oh, Lethal's going live in about an hour, so. Gotta hop on to his channel soon. Or not his channel, but into the comments, because I like hanging out with Lethal. All right. Okay. So I think we're going to go with crimson red. Yeah. And then let's add a slightly darker blue to the outline here, I think. Just a slight. I don't know if I like that very much, actually. Yeah, right there. Get rid of that. Easy fix, though. I'm really liking the violet with the gray and purple. Really good colors to use. Yeah, I think I'm gonna touch up the yellow as well. Just give it a little bit more vibrance. Not that. I think we'll use this guy. Yeah. Thanks. Merry Christmas to you too, Jacob. Sorry, I didn't see that. All right. I need a lighter. Okay. I think I'll do it for the background. I think that's done all I can for it. It was good. All right. Let's put my markers away, and then we can start tidying this piece up. Let's use this. Reorganize them later. Which will suck because I already kind of organized them the other day, but all right. Let's throw some Uniballs in. Let's got a couple actually in case I went out. I'll pull you. And I'll grab my things here. My gel pens. Just add a little bit of detail here and there. I should probably show you what I'm drawing. Very awkward angle. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yeah, let's go like this. All right. Let's add a Yeah, this pen sucks. Let's get a different one. And this pen sucks too. Probably should be getting new balls soon. All right. Ooh, here, fuck off. Shut. Stick up here. All right. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. around. There we go. There we go. It's a better angle. All right. Just making sure you still see. I'll zoom out just a little bit. There we go. See, just like this. All right. I think this side is ready to go. Just gotta thicken that up. Yeah, it's good enough. Now we just gotta do the top half and then we'll get an outline going around the figure, and then we will tidy up some mistakes I made earlier. Yeah, I'll switch pens. Not that one. Nope. And that one's a piece of shit too. Here. all shit. There we go. Much better. Yeah. Zoom out just a little bit. There we go. Obstructing the view. All right, I think we're good with the lightning now. Just gonna put an outline around Bane, and then we'll call it a wrap. All right, I think we're almost done here. Let's do the cow real quick. Let's get rid of these lines. Just to make it a little more natural. out. And since it's nighttime, I'll put some stars in. Okay, and this area. Make it a little bit thicker. Okay. You know, I don't think I really need my gel pens for this one. It's pretty good. All right, I think we're ready to wrap this one up. Obviously, I'll probably go back and touch up some of the line work a little bit, but yeah, there's a Bane, Nightfall Bane, looking pretty sharp, if I do say so myself. I'll get a better look at him. So yeah, that's our guy, our favorite luchador. Oh my god. So So it is a pretty long stream for, damn, it's already 3 o'clock. All right. So before I leave, thank you everyone. Let's check out. I should check the poll first. And Rachel Gould won by a landslide. Croc and Penguin got no love, but Ivy got a little bit of love there. So, which is very fitting because next weekend will be, or not next weekend, on the 17th, I will be coloring Poison Ivy up. So, and then the next Sunday stream, I will be doing Talia al Ghul, and yeah. We'll go from there. So let's find thanks for stopping by, Jacob and Awesome One, and anyone else who was in the chat, because I saw some people poking in but not commenting. So thanks for sticking by, and yeah, let's find a clip somebody end us off on. No, we'll use the new one I got. All right. So so that's my plan for this week. So we're going to be continuing the Batman villains month for December, and let's see anything else. Oh, and then tomorrow, if you are interested, I'll be. Oh, and another thing I'll say is I kind of mentioned this on Twitter the other day. I'm thinking of doing gaming streams. I'm thinking of doing gaming streams on either on YouTube or on Twitch. I'm probably gonna start with YouTube just to get the hang of it, and then go into Twitch. But yeah, I kind of figured out how to get the sound working on my Elgato. It was a pain in the ass, but yeah, we're doing some gaming streams, which will probably start next month. I just want to get this month out of the way. It's gonna be a very busy month for me, so I'm gonna just do my draw streams, and then next month we'll be starting our game streams, which I'll probably be playing some of the Transformers games. So I absolutely love the Cybertron games by High Moon Studios. So yeah, so that's what we will be doing here. Let's give a better view of that. So yeah, next weekend, So this next coming, so obviously, Poison Ivy and Talia al Ghul for our next draw stream. So and tomorrow, if you are anyone's interested, I'll be dropping by Mara's stream, or not her stream, but I'll be playing Splitgate with her on tomorrow night. So, and just to give you a glimpse of what you can expect to see on a Mara Splitgate stream, well, here you go.
God damn it! God damn it!
Game over.
I was trying to... Darth Megatron, you were teabagging me. What the... Oh! Oh, you... Were you teabagging? Were you teabagging him, Megatron? Because all I see through this scope is teabagging, and you go down.
No further questions.
Your Honor, can I say something?
You may.
You know those people, ones that put down people like
teabagged.
I want you to know that I do it all again. This is a circus, all right? It's a charade. It's an act. It's bullshit about how crazy I am. I ain't crazy. I'm not crazy. Okay? I know what I did. I know who I am. And I do not need your help. I'm smack dab in the middle of my right goddamn mind, and any scumbag, any lowlife, any
camping
piece of shit that I
teabag
did it because I liked it. Hell, I loved it. I'm sitting here, I'm just itching. I'm itching to do it again. And you think what? You think you're gonna send me to a nut house? Some doctor, they're gonna get me to stop from doing what I want to do? Well, that ain't happening. Not on my watch. You people call me
The Teabag King. The Big Dick Teabag King.
You want it? Remove the witness.
I am the Teabag King.
I'm right here. You want it? I'll give it to you. And anybody who came here today, hear me whine, hear me beg, please kiss my ass. You hear me? I'm guilty. I plead, Judge. I'm guilty. You hear me? I'm guilty.
I'll teabag every one of them. I'll teabag every single one.
So yeah, that's what you can expect to see from me. If you watch a Mara stream, you might get a glimpse of some teabag action going on. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and end this. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you on the 17th. So later.
Report.
Lord Megatron, the ship is under attack by the Autobots.
But the warship is cloaked. How is that possible?
The medic lives. Mobilize what remains of our forces. The Megalock must be defended at all costs. If Optimus Prime wishes to wage a battle for the fate of both Earth and Cybertron, then I shall oblige him. This will be our last stand.
You were good, Prime, but Megatron is better.
Well done, Megatron!
Remember this, Prime. Don't fuck with the Decepticons.
Decepticons.